Morning, everybody. Well, I'm sitting here talking to myself. I thought I unmuted myself. Anyway, real quick 13 nautical miles to here, 114 nautical miles to here, 73 nautical miles to here, and then 67 nautical miles to here. That's our plan for today. So next week we're gonna fly out of Oswego and we're gonna head into Connecticut, land in Connecticut, and then from there we're gonna go all the way to Bangor, Maine, and then we'll go down the East Coast a little bit, and then eventually we're gonna do a bunch of short hops to get to Trenton, and then Trenton to JFK. All those will be done pretty much in one those short flights. I'm just going to do all those in one day, like on a Monday or whatever. We're gonna bust through the flights. Okay. There we are, Southeast Asia. You saw it. There's your ocular proof. Here is our route for today. If you want to fly along, or you're just curious of what we're getting ready to get ourselves into. There's all the pertinent information. Let me change the weather to a few clouds before we spawn in, before I forget that. So we have some nice something in the sky. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, so nothing else really planned for this week. I may do a flight Saturday. We may take a trip in the mock loop. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. It's going to be, I have physical therapy Thursday, or no, Wednesday, I'm sorry, this week. So I should have enough time to recover a bit more. And then, not, then Friday we can I can get it back on the farm with Mick. It was a lot to do. Last Friday, by the time we got done, my arm was a bit sore, but I should have said something, but that's on me. That's not on him or anybody else. I just got on with it and then dealt with it afterwards. But yeah, it's getting more intense. If it's becoming too much where I need the physical therapy, but if it's taken longer for me to recover, then I have to be careful and not do too much. So, so yeah, that's the drawback, unfortunately. So, good morning, Joseph. Joseph. Oh, young man. I don't know about you sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna take off here. We're gonna hang a left. By the time we come back around, we should be almost near our first VOR DME right there, and then we'll dial in the frequency for the second one right there, and then our third one. Nothing really. There is an ILS approach on runway 33, but I don't think we're gonna need it. So yeah. Never been to Oswego. Of course, I've been to Syracuse and Rochester, but I've never been to Oswego. Some people who've gone there that I know went there for school. There's a community college up here, and matter of fact, it's probably right. Maybe that's the camp. That might be the campus right there. But a lot of people did like it up there. I just couldn't imagine. There it is, SUNY Oswego, right there. That's the campus. I was in the wrong spot. So, so yeah. I couldn't imagine being up there in the winter though, because they get that cold weather right off the lake. Ugh, forget it. No thanks. So anyway, so that's what we got for today. Yeah, we may take a trip in the mock loop. Maybe we'll go in the F-15 on Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the F-14. I haven't decided yet. But we'll see how I feel after farming on Friday. Today's flight brought to you by Parasocks Airline. Parasocks, just because you have a pair of socks does not mean they have to match. I have ocular proof. I saw it last night in Scruffy Tam's stream. He showed his mismatched socks. All you got to do is ask him nicely. He'll show you. It's true. It's true. That's all you got to do is ask. He'll show you. Let's see what other. World Update 13 is tomorrow. Coming with it, the ATR 4272-600 regional prop plane for passenger, and there is a freight version for small freight hops. Don't know which one. I'm assuming we're getting the passenger for sure. Not sure if we're getting the cargo version as well. But pretty keen on that one. It is an aircraft used by Logan Air, which it turns out has nothing to do with Boston, Logan. It has everything to do with Scotland. There's Scotland's, I guess you could say, Scottish airline. So I'm keen on picking that up. May not pick it up tomorrow, but eventually I will get it probably within a week or so, and we will do a flight in it. We'll do a flight over in Scotland, see how it goes. Kind of break things up a little bit. Be nice to do some regional prop services. So yeah, I was I was looking the other day. There's a little airport right. Where did it go? I gotta find it again. Okay, there's Edinburgh. Uh, Kirkwall. There it is, right there. There's an airport here in Kirkwall that they fly out of here down to Edinburgh. So we may do that for a flight. Just there it is, right there. We'll probably do that in a week or so. Just to do something a little bit different. They also do flights, I think, Edinburgh. I think they go to Newcastle. Right there. Or vice versa. Maybe they go Newcastle to Edinburgh. But anyway, so we may do that. We will. It's just a matter of time. Getting the aircraft and all that. So we will we'll get there. All right. What else? So yeah, I don't know what time World Update 13 is getting released. I want to say what time maybe, but I don't know because every time I think I know the time, Microsoft changes everything last minute it seems, and it gets pushed to later in the day, and so just be on the lookout for it. That's fixing Oceania, which will cover, I think it's all through here. There's a pretty good chunk of stuff that's going to get updated. I can't remember where exactly, but there's a bunch of it's going to it's going to update a big area down there, and then so yeah. All right. We'll get spawned in here in a moment. We'll get everything set to go here. I think this is 11410. Oh, 11440. And then it's just like to 70 here. All I gotta do is just one knob instead of two. All right. Anybody else want to say hello before I spawn in? Now's your chance. Yes, no, maybe. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. All right, let's go in here and get this done. I apologize. I was running a little bit behind this morning. I have the air has been very dry, and when it is, I get these nosebleeds out of the blue, and that happened this morning. I just started, and I was like, oh, terrific. So I was I had to run to the bathroom to try to look in the mirror to see if I could see anything, or stand by a sink at least with running water in case I gotta change that. I don't know why it still shows up. I thought I turned that off, but apparently it still wants to show up every time I spawn in. Alright, let's get that on. Was it 1-4-0? Yep. That one. That one. That there. That moved. Zoom out just once. There we go. We don't need the taxi lights on. We don't need the wing lights on. Should be only. Let's have a look here. Yeah, 12.4. Okay, there's that. A few people on Southeast Asia server this morning. Would have preferred. See, this is the difficult part about spawning in. It pulls past. I would prefer. Now I could, in theory, go around and then line back up. I could do that if I want, I suppose. Yeah, I prefer to use every inch of the runway, not be nearly. Feels like I'm almost halfway down there. Like we're gonna run out of runway very quickly. Matter of fact, so I don't know if it'll. Dang. Puts me in a predicament. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Let me get my flight stick here. Alright, let's get our flaps down. Oops. Make sure we have that. There's that. Let's get our this reset. Alright. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright, let's get the brake off. So we're gonna just basically kinda do a quick U-turn here if we can. And then line back up on the numbers as best as we can. Why does it seem like the brakes aren't off? Did I not? I thought I put the brakes off. The brakes are off? Okay. This is being a bit fussy this morning, I guess. Yeah, I prefer to use as much of the runway. Not that we usually run out of runway, I just prefer not to even take the chance. Every little bit of runway counts. That's the drawback of spawning. If we were on a much larger, like if we were at a different airport with a much longer runway, I wouldn't even be worried about it. But Alright, there we go. Now we're all set, I believe. Alright. Sure we're... what's our... It doesn't give us... I don't have an initial heading. Get this closer here. Alright, that's alright. We'll make it work. Alright, let's go. Chat, sorry about that. We still got it in the air fairly quickly, but not. I just rather be a bit safe about the permanent space. I think we either have to contact Buffalo or Cleveland Center. Oh, there we go. Cleveland approach. Alright, let's go to the left there. Another airport right there. I wanted to say thank you, Blue Eyed Tom, for the follow yesterday. I believe you followed me during Scruffy stream. Appreciate it. Chat today, which is okay. Everybody's enjoying their Monday so far. Flaps up. Nose over just a bit here. Should be an airport right below us. We're picking up somebody's. Oh, right there. Yep. It's ILS. All right. here to the left. Dilly-dallying around here. Alright, now we should have a nice climb. There we go. We'll wait till we get to Oswego to take a picture. Do something a little different. Alright, next. 470. Please. Heading. Dial that in right now. Well, let's do a couple other things first. Let's do some wheat and carbs. Forget about that. Off, we should have done that. No, I don't have icing on. It's eventually we'll get there. Have that heat. And 60 degrees. There we go. 470. All right, perfect. Back to chat now. In case anybody says anything else. I didn't even look to see while we're approaching the first nav point. See what the second DC-6 flight did as far as views goes. Let's have a look-see. Ooh, 2 more likes. Not as many views as the first one, but that's okay. I'll take it. The DC-6 seems to be fairly popular. By the way, just quick heads up, ads are incoming. Good morning, Paradox. Ads will be showing in a minute now. Start up. Yeah, nice to see you, Paradox. Alright, let's get up the next frequency here. North. Perfect. We're already picking it up. Nice. Like it. I wasn't sure if we were going to get that pick up that URDME already, but luckily we have. 114, there we go. There go the ads. Apologize in advance if you don't like the ads. Sorry. This thing is really not wanting to go. It's like I gotta hold it to the right to give it. There must be just enough of crosswind to make things interesting. Alright, let's do another couple things here. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of a crosswind or something. Let's go ahead and clean our mixture here. 5. That seems to work very well for us. Cleaning lights. There's Cappy Stick in the DC3. Pop out and have a look on the outside there real quick. We're getting way off track. I gotta really get this thing back. It does not, I just switched from a wire to a wire. Oh. Nice. Stuff. I have a set of headphones that can be wired or wireless. And I last time I flew to Alabama to go see my dad, I used them wirelessly, but the batteries go very quickly, especially if you have the noise canceling on. It drains the batteries much, or the rechargeable battery much quicker than it would if you have it off. Why can't they make a decent pair of noise canceling headphones that the battery lasts, more than an hour? Oh, nice. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, see, yeah, we're just getting pushed to the left. Catching up here momentarily. I'll take a look again once we're we just left Akron, Ohio. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what city I'm over exactly. I don't have the. I used to have all that stuff on, and it's a bit distracting trying to sort everything out. But we're heading to Oswego, New York. We're not too far from Akron. Okay, if you want to try to catch up. That's where we took off. There's another airport near there that I don't know the name of. But if you get there, because it was only a very short distance, it was only like 14 or 13 nautical miles, the first VOR DME near the airport. So we're not too far past it. So if you want to hop in, now's the time. Copy stick should catch up to me. I think the DC6 or DC3 is a little bit quicker than the Junkers 52. It's got bigger radial engines. Should be able to catch up to me. Well, I don't have the live weather on, but it's see that's the weird thing. Even with the live weather off, it still gives me like there's still that crosswind that I have to really keep the aircraft. I have to put a little bit of I have to keep it turning to the right just a little bit before so it doesn't go off track very much. I mean, we're not right on the track according to the compass up on the upper left corner there, but yeah, we're making our way. I mean, it's 114 nautical mile leg, so we got plenty of time. Yeah, there's a bit of a crosswind, but that's okay. That's the great thing about having the stick now is that I can try to kind of compensate for it myself, even though it's a bit more difficult because I can't just like if I let the stick go, the plane's going to drift way to the left, and then we're going to be fighting to get back on track. So that's okay. That's what I got this for. Let's see what stick's doing. Still catching up. It's weird because I know that plane's much faster than me. He should be catching up very quickly. If I hold it basically right where it is. So yeah, it says we're heading the right direction. We are following the line basically, so it's all good. Yeah, I use the the little one on the top right little switch to look around, and then if I push in on it, it brings me right back to the center. And then inside the cockpit, there's a different hat switch. I just pull back twice on it or pull down, and it brings me right to the view that I need to see, or distance to the VOR DME in front of us. So 93 something nautical miles. We're making our way. Go back to the left just a smidge there. Don't go too far. Yeah, I can use it to kind of. I can use the controller as well for the camera control, but with the crosswind, I try not to do that for too long, because otherwise, then it'll go well off the. We'll be going towards the lakes, you know. We don't want to do that if we can help it. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out today. Greatly appreciate it. Mondays is one of those days I never know what to expect. I try not to expect anything on Mondays, because it's the beginning of the week. A lot of people are pissed off that it's the beginning of the week. And I'm not very happy campers, so you just never know what to expect. I'm at my hat switch, adjust trim and don't. Oh, well, this flight stick from Turtle Beach, it's fantastic because it has a little trim wheel that I can. It's counterintuitive. So in order for me to go nose up, I have to scroll forward. It seems like on the wheel, and to go nose down, I scroll back. I would expect it to be the other way around, but it's not. But that's okay. It's just getting practice with it, and knowing what works and what doesn't. I kind of feel, oh, nope. Wind is still there. Check and see if Cappy stick is catching. I'm sure I'll know for sure when he's here, because it'll be, I'll hear the DC-3. I should hear it. Let's see how we're doing in distance now. 86, just under 87 nautical miles. Yeah, I'm okay with it, though. I've kind of gotten used to it. At first, I was like, why isn't it going the way I expected? But that's okay. I got used to it now. It's fine. Now that I'm used to it, I won't switch it. It's just, yeah, it's okay. It's not like one of the worst things to have to deal with. Still way back there. I would have thought for sure that DC-3 would have caught up. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's the Velocity 1 flight stick for Xbox. You could use it on PC as well, and it's got a built-in. It's got a built-in throttle. You can set it up right-handed or left-handed. So I have it set up for left because my right arm is still not strong enough to deal with it. So I have the throttle by my right hand, and the flaps are on the left side now. And if you're right-handed, you can do it where your flaps are on the right side and your throttle's on the left. So you can have it that way. You can change it if you're right-handed or left-handed, whichever one you prefer. I tried flying with the right hand, but it's still my elbow. It's a bit much to try to keep that pressure with the elbow. You know, trying to keep the pressure on the flight stick to keep us going the right direction. And so my arm would get a lot more tired very quickly. So I was like, oh, let me just switch it to the left, and so I've become a bit ambidextrous by due to the injury to my elbow. So, but I can sign, like if I have to sign my name to something, I can do it. But it's chicken scratch, and sorry about that. My controller went to sleep. I always forget about that part. It just suddenly it goes. I hear nothing, and I'm just like, what just happened? And, yeah. So there we go. So yeah, it's taken a while just to kind of get used to flying using with my left hand, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. But I'm hoping I get enough strength back in my arm, my right arm, that I can go back to flying with my dominant hand. But it's going to be like learning how to fly all over again in a sense. Getting used to the feel of the controls and all that. No, for the price, I couldn't beat it. I was like, well, I really want to kind of just do a little bit more with my flying. The controller, it's not bad, but I feel like all the time that I spent on the controller, I was learning a lot of bad habits that I'm trying to unlearn. 76 nautical miles. So that's the drawback. I got used to not doing. I got used to flying with a controller, and it's like the standard controller, and it's trying to unlearn some of those habits. You know. So yeah, now I have something that I can actually dial things in, like the trim. See, if I didn't dial in the trim myself, if I changed it at all, it would zero itself out and go, and then I would have to like struggle to get it back to the 38 degrees for takeoff. So that's the only. But yeah, I like it. It's pretty handy. It's you can change like the little sticks. For like the one for the throttle, the stick is the little stick on top of it. You can swap it out so you know which one's what. If that makes sense. You can change it as you see fit, or whichever one works for you. Actually, I think I've got it set up wrong. The one that's on the left, that should be the one that's on the right, and vice versa. But that's okay. Let's see how Captain Stick's doing. He's getting there. checking until we hear the engines. Yeah, like I was a bit overwhelmed at first, but once I got a little bit more practice with it and everything, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm sure there's more functions that I haven't even really messed with yet. I was trying to map it for the Osprey, you know, with the rotors. You have to get them to at least 60 degrees before you can start the engines. And then once you're in the air, getting them level, flattening the nacelles down so that it flies like a plane. It's a lot of. Are they? Yeah. They act like the A, B, X, and Y buttons on the controller, if you want them to. So yeah, you have. So based on how you have it set up, if you have it left-handed, then B, 5, 6, 7, 8 act like the A, B, X, Y buttons on the controller. If that makes sense. But yeah, you can map them. It just takes a little bit of. I've never mapped buttons before. They don't feel too bad. I mean, you press them normally and they interact, I guess. Morning, Amela. Amela, now that you're here, we have a. So basically, what's going to happen, Amela? We're going to do a swap. I'm going to become British. Joseph's going to become American. And we need the, I said, well, we just got to get Abella to meet Joseph at the airport and take him to the Bronx for the swap out. He can take my spot, I'll take his spot. I think I said, I think it's a good trade. But yeah, they're not bad. It's not like I got to really. You know, like on a standard controller, sometimes it feels like I got to really press down on them, but not this. Like if I if I mapped them for something, I feel pretty confident that I could, you know, that they would work as intended. Yeah, we discussed it when Pulse and Mick were streaming FIFA 23 last night. That we're gonna do the trade. He's not gonna bring anything with him. He's gonna just have the clothes on his back, and you can take him to the Bronx. So whatever happens after that, so be it. I'm sure you can find him a nice little place there in the Bronx to live. Morning, Mick. How are you? Nice to see you here. I didn't expect to see you because I figured you were still recovering from the FIFA last night. And all the put them in order. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, I figured you'd be recovering from not only the FIFA, but the oh, can I join? Can I join? Can I join? You know, we're back to that numptiness again. Oh, that's why we can't have nice things streaming. We can't just have a quiet, just people just come in to watch. You know? We just can't have that, can we? Well, yeah, I know. No, you guys did. I mean, you had some matches that were, you know, eh. But you had a lot of good ones, I think. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Like I appreciate that you guys noticed the difference between the last time you played FIFA and this version. Um, but yeah, it goes it's like people just can't come. That's like my one big gripe as just as a viewer is that people can't just come in and watch and enjoy it. But I want to join in. I want to. No, if you, I'm sorry if your friends don't want to play with you. That's between you and your friends, your so-called friends, right? Why do you have to be involved in everybody else's crap? Why do you got that annoys me to no end. Like here I can't. I don't have to invite Capu Stick to fly with me. Not unless we're going to fly in a group, but I can see him if he wants to fly along. He's more than welcome. Anybody is. I can't really, I'm on multiplayer. You can fly, if you want to. If not, it's perfectly fine. Oh, well now, Joseph, that is by the very definition, the pot calling the kettle black right there. Oh, see, yeah, even on single player they wanted. Can I play with you? No. Why not? Because I'm doing single player stuff. It's my choice. It's my game. Yeah, don't even go there, Joseph. No, 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 no. No, young man. No. You were just as guilty. Come on now. Can we play the PS4 version? No. We're not. Exactly. Come on, Joseph. There's that ocular proof. We can go back to the replay and watch. Yeah, not gonna happen, Joseph. I'm not gonna allow that to. Yeah, I'm gonna call that one out. No, no. You think, Joseph? You think you got a little carried away? Just a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. Exactly. Just like if Mick said, "Hey, I want to fly again." Okay, yeah, we'll set up a time. Does that mean that everybody's going to join in with Mick and me flying? No. But if that's between Mick and I, just like that's between Pulse and Mick, you can't. I'm not going to say anything else. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble again. I'm already probably skating on thin ice as it is. Yeah, you can't sit there and call everybody else out for what they were doing, Joseph. You were just as guilty. I had to learn, and I've told this story before. I'll say it again. It's like when I was younger, we used to visit somebody who had a pool in their backyard, and I'll say, "Oh, we'll see you tomorrow." And my mom said, "No, you cannot. That's not right. We're not. You were assuming that we're coming back tomorrow. You can't make that assumption. That's not appropriate. That's not fair." There's Cappy Stick. He's a couple thousand feet below me, just about, or a few thousand feet below me. Exactly, Mick. Exactly. Just like if Mick and I did another farm and it was much smaller, it was just for the two of us, then, you know, that's between him and I. That's our thing. Just like farming together, if it's Bex and Mick, it's their thing. People have to respect that space. You should respect it. Wanting to be a part of it that's not fair to them. You know what's going to happen, Joseph? You gotta change that. You always put Pules. I don't know what it is about your phone. It automatically goes to Pules instead of Pulse. I don't get it. You're lucky that doesn't get deleted and you get a timeout for that. It's not about it. Just like I don't think I'm good at flying in flight sim. I just do the best I can at it. I make mistakes still, but I try to learn from them. You know, they had good games and they had bad games. I'd say it was a pretty good mixture between the two. And part of it is, to be honest, that there it goes. I'm gonna have to keep the controller here, so fiddle with it here and there. Keep it on. Part of it is communicating. That's the difference. Just like in Battlefield or COD or whatever, if you communicate, you're going to win matches. You're going to win games. If you're not communicating, you're not going to win. That's the difference. I think it went in when you're at the other Mick. Sadly to say. But you don't communicate, Joseph. That's the thing. You get distracted. And I'll be honest with you. I saw it when you were on the long stream with Glenn last week. You got distracted, you picked up your phone, and you stopped talking to Glenn. That's the difference. That's the difference. Yep, exactly. Because you guys had to solve puzzles together. One person had to do one thing. Like you had to stand over on one platform, Pulse had to run the other side and stand on the other one, and you had to work together. You had to work together. If you don't, you're not gonna advance in the game. That's the difference. 41 nautical miles, so we're getting there. That's the big difference. But that's the difference. You can't... When there's a good team, when there's a good dynamic, right? You can't... When you try to jump into that, it disrupts the flow. You have to be... In order to be a part of a team, you have to... you have to communicate, and you have to play your part correctly. Just like... I'll use another, I guess, a good example anyway. If my army buddy in Vegas and I are talking, right? And Joseph, if you interject into the conversation, we're both going to look at you like, dude, what are you doing? You can't just jump in and expect to be a part of everything. I try not to do that, right? If let's just say, for instance, if Mick and Bex decided that Bex is going to give Farm Sim 22 a shot, it would not be right for me to say, "Oh, can I join in too?" No, that is for Bex and Mick. Now, if Mick approaches me and says, "Hey, I'm going to get Bex on the other farm, the quote unquote adult farm, can you help me out?" Sure. But if he doesn't ask me that, I should not assume that he wants my help. Or I should not assume that he wants me to part of that team. Because that's between him and Bex. See what I'm saying? People get jealous of good teams because they're like, "Oh, I want to be a part of that." It's not always meant for you to be a part of it. Just like this Friday, if Mick says, "Hey, can you not be on the farm?" Okay, yeah, sure. If that's what you really want, I don't mind. I'll sit it out. I'll warm the bench. I'll warm up the tractors. I don't care. Like I don't live or die by that stuff. I don't. It doesn't. I don't need. Like it's at the end of the day, it's still Mick's decision. Heck, if it was just him and Jody, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to work with Jody on some stuff." Okay, cool. You have to be able to say, I'll be there regardless. I'm here to support you. If you don't need my help, it's all good." You have to be able to just be okay with that. When you're not, that's when things get weird. That's when the feelings get weird. I'll tell you, Joseph, I knew the script already. I knew the plot was coming. That as soon as, at some point during last night's stream, you're going to say, "Can we play on the PS4 version?" And bang, if you didn't prove me right. Exactly. You have to be flexible. And you have to be able, you have to appreciate your friendship enough to say sometimes, "Hey, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. It's not anything, it's no harm, no foul against you or whatever. It's just that I'm going to try something different." You just have to be able to roll with it and say, "Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know so I'm not sitting here waiting." Right? It was just a matter of time last night. You did not disappoint me, Joseph. I'm like, at some point, sure enough. Again, I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. Be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable enough to know when to sit things out and just enjoy the show. And when it's time when you're good to join in. That's the difference. Hey, it's Gibble Ireland. Look at that. Hey, look, everybody, I see a Gibble Ireland. Do I win a prize for spotting Gibble Ireland today? Hey, Gibbo Ireland, if I don't think he's watching, but hopefully you're well, Gibbo. Appreciate seeing you here in the skies in the Bell 407. That is Two-Tone Murphy's right-hand man right there in front of us in the Bell 407, Gibbo Ireland. I always joke because there was one time I was doing a thing for Firefly Airlines, and it was in Ireland, and I saw Gibbo, and I said, "I spotted Gibbo, do I get a prize?" And he said, "No." Well, I thought I'd ask anyway. Yeah, that is Two-Tone Murphy's right-hand man right there. If you guys have never seen Two Tone and Gibbo, especially when they read the news together, the flight simming news, oh, it's hilarious. Hilarious. Great stuff. Great stuff. Hey, good morning, Blue Eyed Tom. Welcome. Thank you again for the follow yesterday. Appreciate it. Yeah, Mel, I know it was well said, but it just went in one ear and out the other, I reckon. That's okay. It is what it is. Let's see how we're doing on the distance now. 26 nautical miles. Let me get our next. You're welcome, woof woof. I know. That's alright. It is what it is. Alright, our next VOR DME frequency. Ooh, boy, I'm turning well left to the right now. Oops, a daisy. 10820. Alright. Ryder says hi. Hi, Ryder. Yeah, my dad, he has a dog, and whenever I call my dad, he has me on speakerphone, and the dog will start looking around, looking for me, because he knows my voice. My dad says, "Who's that? Who is that?" I said, "Paulo, Paulo," and he's looking around like, "Where's that voice coming from?" Let's pop back outside here. Now it seems like the plane's kind of settling down with the crosswind. Now I feel like I can take my hand off the stick here for a few minutes. Nope. Gibbo just disappeared. Gibbo down! Gibbo down! Launch the Alert 5 aircraft. I did watch Saturday. I had to watch it again. You know that song that says, "This is the kind of ish that makes the hood go crazy"? Well, me calling my mom's phone makes Ryder go crazy. He barks like a man till I hang up. Oh. A woman I dated years ago, when I started spending the night, the dog would freak out. Like the dog would like lay outside the bedroom door, just like crying all night. Just like, this little dog right here is on my every last nerve. Yeah, I did watch Top Gun Maverick again. But I'm getting better at stopping as soon as the end of the movie comes and there's a scene where he's in the hangar at the end, and I'm like, oh, that's the end of the movie right there. That's it. I stop right there because I'm not going to listen to that Lady Gaga song. Nope. 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 Immediately, I'm like, nope, movie's over. All right, let's see where we're at now. We should be getting a little bit closer here. 15 nautical miles. All right, we're almost there, folks. For second BORDME. Now I feel like now it's like I'm fighting the aircraft. The aircraft wants to go to the right now, and so now I have to put a little bit of left stick on there to keep it from going all over the place. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let it go. I'll be back in a moment. I just need to step away for just a moment, folks. All right, I'm back. Oh. Okay, we gotta get back. Oh, see, now we're just pretty much back on the line now. Look at that. Who would have thought? Eight nautical miles. I'm having a pretty good time. Thank you, Mella. Oh, before you ask, I had just a plain old ham and cheese sandwich last night. Nothing fancy. Like I eat fairly good, for a while. Then it's kind of like, I can't be bothered to make anything, or just like, So I'm still hopeful that I'm going to be able to go to Flight Sim Expo this year for the first time ever. I'm still holding out that some things are going to happen that will allow me to do that. I've looked at like the most cost efficient way. I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's in Houston, Texas this year. Right at the what's it called? Hold on, I have it saved. It is going to be held at the I gotta find where I had it saved at. The link opened. There it is, near the Lone Star Flight Museum. And I don't know if they're still offering it during the expo weekend, but there is, if possible, they do offer flights in a B-25. I know Mick's ears just perked up here on that. Ooh, classic World War II bomber. Ooh, not a B-17 unfortunately, but a B-25 I believe it is. Get about 20 something minutes in the air. They'll do the startup, taxi over, take off, fly around for a little bit, come back, land, and shut everything down. So I'm looking. I'm gonna have to look to see if that's a possibility. It's a little extra money, but it may be worth it. Mick, if I can do it, can being the key word. If it's available and I can do it, I will videotape. Well, I will make a video of the whole thing for you to enjoy. So, but taking a Greyhound bus right now is one way, is the cheapest way to get there. And unfortunately, for various reasons, probably the safest way, because flying right now just seems to be way too suspect. So, yeah, I looked. They do have them, but I don't know if they're going to be offered. I think if I get there a day or two ahead of time before the expo, I might be able to do it then, maybe. But I'll see. If I can do it, I will definitely video. I'll have the video camera with me. No, I've never heard of it. Heading of 67 degrees. Okay. Do that. All right, we're not picking this one up yet, so this must be a low-powered one. We're heading the right direction. That's all that matters. Oh, wait a minute. Bella doesn't know. Joseph had 2 dinners yesterday. Joseph had 2 dinners. He was quite full up. He was quite happy to express that in Pulse's stream yesterday, that he had his dinner and then he had a second dinner and he was full up. There in the DC-3. Yeah, don't forget to tell Mello about that, Joseph. He had 2 dinners last night. I said DeMello's going to have 4 dinners just to To eat more than you, Joseph. Yeah, 2 dinners. I think if I have 2 dinners, I would probably explode. I would have serious indigestion. But that's just me. So he's an SU-57. Oh, we don't want to know about that. Someone is flying something with props on Twitch. Cheers. Hello, Airlock Doc. How are you? Yep. Well, Cappy Stick's out in front there in the DC-3. We do have somebody in an SU-57. But yeah, we're doing. He's in. Yeah, we're doing. I do quite like the Ubers 52. I think the next one I really want to start focusing on is the DC-6 because I want to get used. There's so many things that I think that I'm not doing right that I want to learn from my mistakes and get better at it. So good to see you, Airlock Doc. Hope you're well. I think Adder joined in when it's like they just popped up on. I don't know if they're flying with me or if they're just flying elsewhere, just doing their own thing, but I don't know. It's not a name I recognize, so. But I did spot Gibbo Ireland. He was in the Bell 407 somewhere in the distance there for a little bit. He was, I think, just kind of getting trying to fly the. He might have been up by Niagara Falls, I think, up in Buffalo. Either that or maybe he wanted to see if it would go over the falls and if we would survive. Yeah, watched. It was nice watching the staff there in the the Twin Otter flying over Alaska on Sunday. That was really good. Watch Boozy Sheeps for a little while. Yeah, it was good stuff over the weekend. Quite some streaming wise. Was it Saturday? Allison did 8.5 hours in the. I forget which plane it is that she flew. The dinosaur, yeah. And Boozy is happy. His stutters are. Oh, now nice. Good. Yeah, Allison did 8.5 hours on Saturday. Watched Captain Arash play The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, there we go. 50, just under 60 nautical miles to go. Yeah, I heard about them pulling the plane from the marketplace. I think they were supposed to be ready for the Xbox after the Wasm fix, the quote-unquote dinosaur as you call it. Oh. Yeah, Flo, it seemed like a great idea, like when they first started talking about it. And it seems like there's a lot of conflicts in the sim with some of the add-ons in Flow. So I'm guessing that they're going to have to find a way to patch all that and check everything. But that is the only plane that has an. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, it seems like a neat concept, though. It does kind of simplify. Well, it changes the menu bar, but it adds more things that you can do with it, I guess, at the same time. I don't know. I have a hard enough time keeping up with just the regular menu bar on here on the Xbox. Yeah, I heard that, and I saw that they were saying it would be back, but they didn't say when. But they're saying they will bring it back, so I don't know if they're doing. My feeling is, and I could be wrong, is that they're doing like a major overhaul of the whole thing. But what? But at the same time, if you were doing that, why would you stop selling it? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, if that's what in fact that they're doing is an overall big overhaul of the aircraft, and then they'll put it back out there. But yeah, I don't know. Seems a bit odd. Because that was one of the ones I was looking forward to getting. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. But we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts on the bought the rights to it as a local? Oh, okay. Ah, I did not know that. I didn't hear that rumor, but that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I heard one of the big complaints was the sound. The sound of the engines wasn't that good, or what people were expecting. But I don't know. I've only seen Sergeant Staff fly it, so I don't really know too much more about it than that. I was keen on getting, and it may still come this Thursday, although I don't know because nothing's being said on the PMDG forums about the 737s, and I kind of feel like, I'm not that keen on it anymore. I think it sounds exciting, but then I'm just kind of like, no, I think I'd rather fly a lot more general aviation. I mean, I've got enough different Airbuses from okay, fair enough. We have enough Airbuses from LVFR that if we want to do a jetliner flight, we can use those. They're not study level, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm cooling my heels on buying too much stuff now. It's all right. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. The SU-57 disappeared. Cappy Stick and I have skies over New York to ourselves. That should be done here in a moment. So yeah, maybe we'll do Saturday. We'll do a quick trip in the mock loop. We'll take off just north of the loop, head to the loop, and rub everybody the wrong way down there, and then in the mock loop, and then we'll head inland further and find a place to land. I think we'll do it in the F-14, but I'll have to wait and see how I feel Friday after we're done. I'll know for sure Friday if we're gonna do that. Saturday. But yeah, once the ATR, once I can get that, I'm guessing that's only going to be $20 on tomorrow, but I'll get it, and we'll do a flight from Scotland on that. I'm curious to see what versions we're getting from with the release on Tuesday with the World Update. I don't know what to expect this Thursday overall. I'm not really expecting the 737s, which means that the idea of those being released by the end of April is, I kind of have a feeling like something's happening there. They're having to delay it, which is okay, that there's still lingering issues that need to be addressed. Alright, the ads are done. Yeah, I think I've got enough. I mean, there's a few planes I still am keeping an eye open for, but I think I'm reaching the point where I feel like I have more than enough to fly. I'm trying to fly it and showcase it maybe on stream or something. It's just a matter of finding stuff to do to make that happen. Anyway, hopefully everybody's having the good last Monday of April. We're heading into May next week. Good stuff. Next thing you know, it'll be summertime. We're going to be taking vacations. Airlock Doc, if you're here, are you going to Flight Sim Expo this year? Just out of curiosity, or no? I don't know I don't remember if you said in Scruffy's stream or elsewhere. Looking if fingers crossed, and I think everything is going to work out the way I hope it does here soon. Um, it'd be nice to meet Sergeant Staff and Scruffy, Captain Arash. You know, Two-Toe Murphy's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people there, streamers. Marco said he's going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting Allison. I think is going to be there. Nice to meet Allison for the first time. Yeah, I gotta look to see what their availability is on that B-25. Either I'm gonna have to do it a few days before the actual event, or I'm gonna have to do it. I can't do it the day on that Monday because I'll be leaving Houston. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Mick, if you're still here, what are your plans for this evening? Are you streaming tonight, or is that pulse streaming, or are you guys recovering still from FIFA last night? or do you have to have a board meeting to discuss the plan for this evening? Quiet in the chat now. Mello must be getting ready for work. Mick is having his post-lunch latte. He's streaming tonight. He's getting his boots ready for the stream. 27 nautical miles. Alright, so once we pass this VOR DME, we have, what did I say, it was 67 nautical miles. So once we're about 40 nautical miles past that VOR DME, we might be able to start looking at our list for Oswego to say, hey, wake up, we're coming in for landing. Outside here just to have a look. Yeah, Mystic and I had the skies to ourselves pretty much today. Good stuff. I got to keep a little bit of small adjustments here, otherwise it's going to a bit weird on me. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out today. Appreciate it. Oh, this might end up being quite a long trip. We're hitting near hour 47 session. Hour and a half, or just over an hour and a half in the air. So, but once we're on the ground and the aircraft is under control, we'll park it wherever they tell us to, or if not, we'll find our own parking spot. Be done for the day. If you're not on the Discord, do where's the Discord? If you want to just keep up with what's happening with me and my schedule, that's that is the best place to do it. Ooh. So we are not far from Rochester, New York. It is up probably on the other side of those clouds over there. I'm hoping I can get back to weekly. It's just I'm gonna have to probably wait until after I get through the first or the rest of these physical therapy sessions. I don't know if they're gonna want me to do more, or if they're just gonna be like, do the stuff on your own at home. We're done with you, kind of thing. So we may just go to 2 days a week until after I take a little vacation. Because most likely once I'm done in Houston, I'm gonna go to California to visit family, and and I don't know if that also means that once I'm done visiting my mom and stepdad, speaking of my stepdad, so for those of you who don't know, and I didn't really talk much about this, because I was dealing with my own issues with my arm once I broke it. My stepdad, right about the same time that I broke my arm, or about a week or two, I think it was maybe just after the surgery, I can't remember. My stepdad had a stroke, and my mom was just a wreck, for obvious reasons. And so yesterday I called her just to see how things were going, and I got to talk to him. He's still working on his speech, but it's a little bit difficult to understand him, but he's getting better with his speech, which I know my mom is quite happy with. That was like one of her big concerns was if she could not hear him speak, that just like really did a number on her as far as not being able to hear his voice in some fashion. Like if he wanted something, normally he would just say, "Can I have?" or "Can you get me?" or whatever, without hearing. I gotta keep this control. This is bugging me every time I'm talking, and then the controller powers down because it's goes into power saving mode. I gotta find a way to see if I can't change the timing on that. So yeah, so he's doing much better speech wise. I can understand some of the words he was saying last night. But yeah, if I once everything works out once I'm done in Houston for Flight Sim Expo, I'm gonna go to California to spend some time with my mom and stepdad, and then I'm probably gonna try to stop off and see my dad on the way back. You know, then I also gotta try to see my daughter and granddaughter. It's like you know, I may be gone. It seems like forever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of traveling. Sounds like so. But we'll see how it goes. It's a lot of. We're almost there, folks. We're almost there. Well, look at that. Look at it, just went right back to the left. Goodness gracious. Well, maybe it's going to level. Things are going to be a little bit level here. Alright. Alright, so just kind of reiterate what we talked about just a little while ago. Once we pass this VOR DME, we're going to keep on going. 67 nautical miles from GEE, to our airport there in Oswego. Once we're about 40 or so nautical miles past G, then we're going to start see if Oswego's on the list to talk to for landing, and if so, we will we'll call in, get our instructions, and then we'll put it on the ground. We have some events getting ready to happen here soon. Big one being landing. Oh, I also saw that the tower for the Starship, we were talking about the design of the launch tower that may have contributed, I guess, to some of the problems the Starship had. And they're going to have to basically go with a different tower design. I did see a video, somebody watched the launch from what they thought, well, it was a fairly safe distance, but still they got hit with the wind still blew out, like the force of the launch, it went out farther than I think they expected. Because this person had a video camera, and it got peppered with pebbles and, you know, all kinds of bits. But yeah. Yeah, I guess they're have already gathered data, and that was one of the things that they looked at, was the launch tower, and That maybe they have to go with a different design for it. That if I keep, ooh, now that's another thing too. If 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 it's close enough, I may try to get over to the Houston NASA Center. I think I have to look to see. I think you could take tours of that. That would be pretty awesome. And I could say I've been to Kennedy and Houston. Alright, so we passed that. And now, there we go. Follow this line. So should be it's all right. Just get back on the throttle a little bit, start descending. A little bit. Cappy stick's already there, our destination. Too heavy on the right. Right turn. Trying to keep us going in a generally good direction here. Oh. Space Center in Houston is a science museum that serves as the official visitor center of NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. It was designated a Smithsonian affiliate in 2014. Oh, you can see the Mercury 9, the Gemini 5, Apollo 17, Lunar Module, Test Vehicle, Lunar Roving Vehicle Trainer, the Lunar Samples, Skylab Trainer, and the Apollo Soyuz Test Docking Module Trainer. Yeah, might have to see about visiting that if possible. Get some pictures and get some science. we do like our science. I think you can tour the old Mission Control or Launch Control or whatever in the Apollo days. I think that's still possible. I'll have to look. That would be quite awesome to be able to go see all that. I know Mick's going to be he's going to have to buy a bunch of new sticky note pads. All right, 13 nautical miles so far past our VORDME there. We're getting there. Making our way. The only way we know how. Well, not the only way we know. One of the ways we know. How about that? I was a bit surprised there wasn't a VORDME by Oswego Airport. There's just a lone ILS localizer there at the end of the runway by runway 15. Too much camber, huh? Okay. Captain Stick and I are no longer the only ones in the skies here over New York. Upstate, I guess you could say, upstate New York. Don't be shy. Come on and say hello now. And once we're lining up for landing, I won't see your hello until we're well on the ground and the aircraft is under control. If you'd like to have a chat, we have 46 nautical miles. Yep, 46 nautical miles to just under 46 nautical miles now. Say hello. Oops. What is it? Well, I gassed it up all the way, and we're definitely going to make it there with plenty of fuel left in the tank, it looks like. I don't know when to trust the 50% and when to... I have a feeling we would have been struggling to get there if I didn't add fuel. So I just gassed it up all the way, and there we go. Let's have a look at her. I think we're okay where we are because we're we may have a pattern left, or we may go straight in. I'm not sure what to expect as far as our pattern instructions once we get closer to Oswego. 27 nautical miles. We got a little bit more to go before I think we can try to see if we can talk to Oswego. Scruffy, thank you for the resub. Appreciate it. How are you? Nice to see you. Give a shout out to the Soxia streamer. I'll tell you what, he's been losing weight. He did a little bit of a gun show last night on the stream. He's gonna be all smoke for Flight Sim Expo. He's been doing good. He's changed his diet and exercising. So he has way more energy now. You're lucky, you know, Scruff. You're lucky the wife doesn't give you a longer to-do list. That's okay. You should be proud. You're doing good. You should be proud of that. Yeah, watch out though. Don't get too much energy because you know the wife's gonna. Well, you know, you got all this energy. I can put more stuff on the honeydew list. uh, yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. Doing good stuff. You know, it's amazing what a little bit of self-discipline and just sticking to it, what that does for you. You know, and that is the I think that's the most difficult part is the self-discipline because it's easy to say, oh, you know, I'm going to start tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you're like, well, you know, I'm just not feeling it today. I'll try tomorrow. And then you just keep kicking that can down the road, and next thing you know, a whole year's gone by, and you're like, well, maybe next year. You know, no, you've done really good. Really, you've done a lot of the hard work. Yeah, like I noticed like when I lost weight, especially like I was only eating 2 meals, but they were, you know, I had to eat a lot of calories like when I was deployed because especially when it was hot, you know, you burn a lot of calories, you just don't even realize it. I cut out soda. I was only drinking water, you know, especially when I was in Iraq because I was going on convoys, and you know, even if there's a quote unquote AC system in the back of the truck, it really wasn't nothing. It didn't really do nothing for you. So like I sweated off a lot of pounds, and but I was only eating 2 meals a day, and I was drinking water. I cut out soda and all that, and like people noticed it, like in my face, for instance, just like with you. You can notice it in your face that you've lost weight, and that's where you know people see that, and then it just you know everything else after that. But yeah, it's fantastic. Very happy for you. All right, we're almost at the point I think that we can. Oops. But yeah, I did not. But I had a lot of snacks too. Like I would always have like um, granola bars. You know, we had. You know, I was always snacking, but it wasn't like junk food snacking, like going through a whole bag of chips or something like that. You know, I was doing pretty good with that. I lost quite a bit of weight when I was in Iraq. But it's easy to you know, or even when I spent 30 days at Fort Irwin, or well, it was more than 30 days. I didn't drink any soda then either, and you know, it's interesting. You'd think that would break the cycle of drinking soda. No, it was like at first I was like, oh, I don't have a taste for it, don't really care about it, and then it was like all of a sudden you drink a Coke or a Pepsi or something, you're just like, it's almost honestly, it's like an addiction. You're like, oh, I miss this. You know, it's like the person who stopped smoking for a while. And they're just like, I gotta have a cigarette, and they're like, oh, the nicotine rush. Yeah, you know. I still think there's something else in that in soda that there's an addictive. You know, some people say it's a sugar or some kind of sweetener. It's just man, I don't know. I yeah, yeah. Well, we're getting closer if we're talking to Syracuse. That is the larger airport in the area. Yeah, it is difficult. Like I was doing good. Like when when I came back from Fort Irwin after over a month being there, I was like, I think I've got the soda addiction under control, and it worked for maybe about I wouldn't even, maybe a month, maybe less than a month, and then it was like, oh, I gotta have it. If I had just stuck with it, I did pretty good during the lockdown. I cut back on soda, like I was drinking more water, and then you know, then all of a sudden it was like, ooh, soda, yeah, I gotta have that. Yeah, it's difficult. It's not easy to break that habit. All right, I think we are close enough. We should be able to talk to Oswego. Let's have a look-see. Still farther. Still farther. There it is, Oswego. It's not powered. Aha. All right, here we go. Let's see, is it 2, 3, or 2? Should be 2, 3. All right. Okie doke. Let's get some flappage down. Start slowing down here. Let's go zooming up in the air, of course. Hey, Pulse, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. How are you? Go a little bit more to the right here, I think, and then we should be able to line up for the runway. Now, what I could do... It's weird. Alright. Appreciate it. Oh, look at that. He finally got it right. He didn't want to get timed out by Nick, I think. Let's snooze these. I appreciate everybody being here today. Nice to see you all here on the last Monday of April. I'm a bit jealous that you're going to the drag races this Friday with the your students there, Scruff. That's fantastic. I wish I could go. I've never been. I that was one thing I wanted to do in Sonoma, because they have the NHRA stuff there, but I never got it. I never went, but that was always on my bucket list of things to see just once. I like to get the picture of the flames coming out the exhaust when they hit the throttle, and yeah. one of my somebody I knew in the guard, he had a signed rear tire from Tony Schumacher in his office. How did you get it? He said, well, he didn't want to tell me the whole story. He said, I don't want to say how I came by it, but I got Tony to sign it. Cappy stick is there at the airport. I'm just trying to figure out where is runway 33. I'm not seeing the, yeah. Oh, it's signed hat, nice. I remember, I'll tell you the story briefly while we're getting ready to land here. One of the years I went to the Rolex Sports Car Series at Laguna Seca, and I'd got a die-cast car that I think Milka Duna was her car, and then I think it was the one that was like Max Pappas and somebody else had driven with her, so I was getting all their autographs on the box, right? And this kid comes up and hands something to Max Pappas, like one of their little driver cards. You sign this for me? He's like, sure. And so then the kid just starts handing stuff over. Can you sign this? And finally he's like, look, kid, I can't just sign everything for you. Get the autograph. Yeah. But poor Max, he was just like, look, I think I signed enough stuff for you. I can't sign more stuff. It's just not going to work. Okay. It looks like a left pattern entry there. We're going to head over there, and then we'll line up for landing. Yeah, he was really cool about it at first, but then the kid just kept, what about this and what about it? He's just like, all right, come on now, that's enough. But you're right. Most crews, like if they're like, hey, you want a hat? Like they just got a bunch of stuff to give away to people. And and that was always a great thing that I enjoyed about even the Rolex Sports Car Series and the ALMS, that they would have like an autograph session. But they had people that would bring in like their door panel from their Corvette to get the Corvette guys to sign it. All the drivers. If it was a new driver, they're like, oh, I got to have that driver's name on my door panel. And then they would put a piece of tape over it to keep it there so it would never smudge. Like the Corvette team, massively popular. They would sign all kinds of stuff. Like they had a huge Corvette corral. People with different years Corvettes would pull in, and it was like a whole parking area was nothing but Corvettes. I don't think there was ever anything like that I saw, not with Porsche or Ferrari or anybody else. But Corvettes, oh yeah, they had like a huge fan following. Well, they still do, but yeah, it was insane. A little bit more flap here. Make our way to the pattern entry. Yeah, I never got to an NHRA event. I kind of wish I had. I'd like to see it just once, just to experience it. Hold on, folks. I think the maintenance folks are coming. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I thought they were coming to. We've had some problems with the pipes and all that lately. I think they're just going. They'll make their way back here. So I apologize if I have to step away again. I'll try to go around. I got the fuel for it if I have to. All the way back. It's okay. All right. Thank you again to Captain Stick for flying along today. Appreciate it. Here. Oops, daisy. I feel bad for the maintenance people that come out here to deal with all this stuff. These buildings are so old, and a lot of the systems that are here now, they're like at a loss of what to do to fix it. almost there. Must not have been my building that had the problem. Sorry about that. Yeah, they just left, so it must have been one of the other buildings. But yeah, we've had plenty of water problems. Our water's, it's like that hard water, you know, and they need to do something about it. They would probably have to dig up all the pipes and replace them all and put a water softener system in there if they could. That's what they really do that. So we're good to go. All right, here we go, folks. Looks like a nice house right there. There we go. Little bump coming up. There we go. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, I'd like to welcome you to Oswego, New York. Local time is 9:23 in the morning. We did it. It was a good, nice little flight. We understand and appreciate the fact that it's the last Monday of April and we'll be in May before we know it. I can say for sure Monday we'll be back in the Euchers 52. We may be back Saturday. Thank you, Joseph. In the F-14, take a little trip through the Mach Loop. And maybe we'll find a place to land as well. Get a picture on the runway here before I forget. Flight picture of the day. I'll get one next to Cappy Stick as soon as we park over there near him. Thank you again, Cappy Stick, for flying along today. Greatly appreciate having you here. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I don't know about butter, but it'll do. It'll do. There we go. All right. Get our flaps all the way backed up. There we go. We'll let them know that we are clear of the runway here in a moment. As soon as we get the plane moving and get off the runway. It wasn't too bad. Didn't know quite what to expect with this airport. I tried to pick the longest runway, but It's, when you see 5,000 feet, you're like, oh, that's plenty of runway, and then you're just kind of like, I don't know, that could run out of room very quickly. Yeah, good stuff. Where the camera still go? I must have left. I was gonna go park near him and get a picture, but I think he had to go. Have you heard of the money ball technique in baseball? Yes. Basically, you're paying a player for what he's able to produce. Kind of like so like when the A's lost Giambi and Damon and all that, they knew they couldn't afford a Giambi or Damon, right? So they had to get players who could break up their batting average, their on base percentage, their home run averages, and all that. And so you pay a player based on what you know they can do, not what they want, what they expect from the team. Oh, hey, my. Uh-oh, here comes the bloody nose again. Ugh. Oh, I tell you, this dry air is just killing me. Uh, so yeah, you try to spread it out amongst players. You don't go after one player in particular. You go after players who are either in the twilight of their career, like they did with David Justice, or you get a guy like they did with the first baseman Hatterberg, who was a catcher, but he couldn't catch anymore. He had a shoulder injury or something, or his throwing arm was basically done. And so so they're like, well, you could play first, and he was like, okay. Yeah, it is risky because you're hoping that you get the production out of the player. Like you had a veteran player like David Justice who understood what they were trying to do, but if you have a uh, Jason Giambi's younger brother, obviously wasn't on board with it, so he was a liability for what they were trying to do. So yeah, there is a risk. I apologize. Boy, my nostril is just so dry. I just get these bloody noses very easily now. So let me just try to park it. Yeah, there was the movie about it, Moneyball, with Brad Pitt. It does talk about it in it. Bill James wrote a book about baseball statistics, which kind of turned everything on its head, and a lot of baseball like people who like the scout for the A's, he was like, you're trying to reinvent the wheel. Basically, we know what works, and you're trying to basically ruin our. Yeah, I did see that as well. I'm sorry, I'm like wiping my nose at the same time and talking. Ah, I'm just trying not to let the blood go gushing out my nose, and it feels like it wants to. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Oakland's not going to give them a new stadium, to be honest. Vegas will pay for it like they did with the Raiders. Oakland won't have. They've lost, so they lose. They've lost the A's, the Raiders, and the Warriors. I think are across the bay in San Francisco, back where they started off at. There we go. All right, and one, two. Ooh. Oh, come on. There we go. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah, it's unfortunate. So, but yeah, they can't afford to build a new stadium. They would have to demolish everything there in Oakland and find a new place to build it, or build it on the old site. Pardon me, I got to sneeze now too. Oh boy. So yeah, it works. I mean, the Boston Red Sox prove that the system works, but it's like one of those rare. It's an oddity when it does work correctly. Oh, all right. Let's try this again. So yeah, um, but yeah, I've heard of it. I like watching the movie, even though it turns out some of it was highly dramatized. Well, I mean, they can't afford it. That's the thing. They just can't afford a new stadium. The taxpayers are not going to fund it. And that's who they would have to go to. They just don't have the money to do it. So, yeah, Vegas is it. You know, is there? There's no state tax, so they can probably get a better deal from Las Vegas than they can from Oakland. So, yeah. Um, but anyway, but yeah, if you ever see the movie Moneyball, it's a good movie, although some of it was a bit over dramatized for the movie, but the premise of it is still there, and I enjoy it. I like it. Um, I watch it every so often whenever it's available on Amazon Prime. It's one of my favorite movies to binge watch. But yeah, it the idea was popular, but it's I don't know. It's one of those things that there's always going to be those people who are not going to be okay with that kind of change to how baseball's always been done. But anywho, well, let's wrap things up here so we. Otherwise, I'll spend all day talking about baseball and stuff. And I need to attend to my nose and try to get this cleaned up a bit. But anyway, thank you all once again for coming in and hanging out. I hope you greatly enjoyed it. It was nice having you all here on a Monday. I know Mondays are, like I said before, Mondays are always suspect. I just never know, who's going to be able to be here in the chat. If you can, you're more than welcome to be. If you want to fly along, you're more than welcome to. Thank you again, Cappy Stick, for flying along in the DC-3 today. And so yeah, that's what we do. So do enjoy the rest of your Monday morning, afternoon, evening, early Tuesday already. Somewhere in the world, it's already Tuesday. Might be out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You never know. So we'll be back next Monday for sure. Maybe this Saturday. Stay tuned on the Discord. We may take that run in the mock loop in the F-14. Of course, we're going to go in the iconic Jolly Rogers livery. You too, Scruff. Thanks for stopping by. Keep up the gun show. Flex every so often. It's okay. You should be proud. Flex it. Flex, There's nothing wrong with that. And so, yeah. I have been and always shall be your host, Uncle B. You're welcome, Joseph. You don't have to say thanks. It's all good. You're welcome. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until next time, whichever day that may be, peace, live long and prosper.